Hey, today I am looking at, I'm going to be tasting the Alesmith Brewing Tiki IPA. So that's a hazy India Pale Ale brewed with coconut. I guess it's maybe called Local Oasis. Is that the name of it? I'm not sure. It's just, yeah, I guess it's called Local Oasis Tiki IPA. The latest brew in our ongoing Hop Right series brings the delicious aromas of tiki cocktails directly to your local oasis, aka your backyard. Stuffed full of Galaxy hops, Aloha hops, and fresh coconut, this hazy gem bursts with notes of passion fruit, pineapple, and citrus, all followed by a full-bodied and smooth finish. So why do I like this at all? I mean, I know kind of these crazy IPAs are scoffed at sometimes in the craft beer community, but I had one from Blue Owl Brewing Company, which exclusively focuses on sour ales, and they're local to Austin. Blue Owl, excellent. They're so good at what they do. And they made one for the summer, I think. For this summer, I got it the first time in 2020, called the Tiki Hop Totem, which was a sour milkshake IPA. I think it had Sabro and Citra hops, and I don't know, lactose, I think. Somehow they made it, to me, that was one of the best drinks of 2020. I got it over and over again. I've mentioned before, I usually don't buy beers more than once. And I think that's kind of the standard bearer, in my opinion, of how good like a milkshake style IPA can be. At least to my taste, it was sour, it was refreshing, medium strength, and I love the taste of IPA. But to me, that sour IPA didn't taste anything like an IPA. My girlfriend said it tasted exactly like an IPA. She doesn't like those, so I'll take her word for it. But I could barely taste it. Anyway, I've had a couple other sort of similar type approaches, maybe the coconut or coconut pineapple IPA. I do love Pina Colada. That's always been a favorite flavor of mine. I love the drink of Pina Coladas and so forth. So I'm never expecting a milkshake IPA or a tiki IPA to taste identical to that. That'd be crazy. But to have something that reminds me of that is kind of what I'm looking for, to be something good for summer, drinking outdoors, refreshing, strong enough to feel it, because it is kind of imitating a mixed cocktail or whatever that could be made pretty strong, but not so much that you could only have one and knock you back. Well, on that note, this one is 6.4% ABV. It's probably about exactly what I'm expecting. Somewhere between 6 to 7 is kind of about right, I think, for these. Anyway, just about the can, like I've said before, I'm sort of colorblind, but this looks pretty pink to me. I am not the expert, but it's an attractive can. I mean, Alesmith also makes the Speedway Stout, which I love the kind of design of that. That's just a very imposing but attractive looking can. The color scheme in the fonts, I think. This one, I don't know, it looks a little simpler to me. It's not quite as exciting to me of a packaging, but it does. It's got some nice gold plants. Those look like hops to me. Yeah, definitely going to be hops in their hop leaves. And so anyway, I don't have a glass today because I'm not able to, I just don't have one with me right now, unfortunately, so I can't show you what it looks like to pour. But anyway, I'm just going to give it a quick taste, see what I think of it, and I'll go from there. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay. I'm not going to get into it. All right, so it sounds good when we open it. Nice foamy head even trying to come out of the can a little bit. It does smell like an IPA. It smells like a beer. It smells like an ale to me, which is nice. I'm looking for the canned date. I just forgot to check that too. Out of curiosity, I'm not a huge date snob. Although the more I drink, the more I'm looking for the freshest beer. In a lot of cases, a lot of styles definitely benefit from being as fresh as possible. I think IPAs, the pale ales, and all lagers, and all that good stuff, pilsners. But anyway, I'm just going to taste this. Nice and cold still, and I don't know if there's much else to say. Okay, so that's very much an IPA. That tastes like an IPA with coconut added, sort of. That tastes the fading, the hops. I mean, they picked the hops nicely. They're definitely sort of tropical tasting hops, and it's a hazy IPA, so I'm actually sort of getting tired of hazy IPAs. I know a lot of people probably are, and it feels like that's all you find. Everyone's just making hazy. I'm like, yeah, that was cool at first because it was real hoppy and new sides of hops that I hadn't seen so much in the more bitter, just the more cleaner IPAs. And so I think a lot of us felt that way. And then the hazy IPAs were really cool because it was even more of what we liked. But then it's kind of started to get a bit much to me, and I'm sort of looking now for cleaner pale ales and stuff like that again. So this is interesting. Hold on. So it's kind of like the coconut hits you right up front on your tongue. The mouthfeel is really awesome. It feels really, it's like a rich feeling. It's not creamy. It's not thick. It's not fizzy. It's kind of like a combination of all those. It's like sort of creamy, sort of thick, sort of fizzy. But don't think I'm exaggerating those. I mean, it's still the consistency of a IPA, a well carbonated IPA, I would say. Yeah, and you get, a pretty strong hint of coconut right away. Then it goes into like a pretty good tasting bitter hazy IPA in the main part of the taste is that. And then at the end it kind of trails off and it tastes like a bitter pale ale. Pretty clean finish with like the coconut kind of still floating around. I mean, I know that I've only had a few beers by Alesmith. I know they're a very respected brewery, and like I said, their Speedway Stout, that's what started getting me believing I could like a lot of stouts. Excuse me. It's pretty carbonated, I would say, which is nice, I think. It's meant to be a refreshing summer drink, so that's probably perfect. Yeah, it's good. You could almost serve this to people and they would just not even think it was like I'm going to say gimmick IPA. The tiki, the coconut, we're just calling that kind of a gimmick. I don't know what else to call it. That sounds a little judgmental, but I mean, I'm just saying you could hand this to your friend who just likes, bitter beers, standard stuff. You could hand this to them and they might not even notice that there was anything odd about it if they were, hazy IPAs were in their ballpark. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of interesting. So I'm glad this is the one I'm drinking today. I'm about to get into a turkey sandwich. I don't know how that pairing is going to go, but I am kind of happy because I think if this had been really like dessert style beer, which it might have been, it's kind of a 50-50 to me before I opened it. I don't know which one it was going to turn out to be. If it had been that sort of sweet, creamy dessert beer, I don't know if it would go as well with my lunch that I'm about to have, turkey sandwich. I think this is much more of a, like I said, yeah, like just an IPA taste most of the way through. Okay, so it's good. Definitely would recommend it. On the scale of IPAs, I don't see myself getting it again for any particular reason, just because I know my favorites and this is good, but it's not one of those. And it's definitely on the bitter side and kind of on the thicker, more complicated bitter tasting. But yeah, it's worth a try for anyone who's anything I've said, sounds appealing to them. Okay, I'm signing off. And again, this was the Alesmith Brewing Tiki IPA, Hazy Pale Ale, Hazy India Pale Ale brewed with coconut. Okay, peace out, y'all.